Picture this. A house with a garden. A childhood dream that most people can't even afford. Nor can they dream of this picture. At one time, most people had this. But now, most either don't have a home. And the others, well, they start getting, hungry. The others completely forgot their ties to society. Who cares about their position in life? The meeting that they were supposed to attend today? The possessions that they owned? Even the happy wife? The kids they had? None of that matters anymore. Homeless or homeowner? It doesn't discriminate. They all get the hankering for a special cuisine. Apparently it's everywhere, but it's not sold as livestock. It's the prey that runs from you. It makes your infected veins crinkle. Your mouth drools at the sight of it, and your eyes turn blood red. Nothing can stop you from chasing after it. And the best part is, you don't need money, nor do you need their consent to eat it. You just need to reach out, grab the nearest pedestrian. Go on, take a bite. You're now a zombie. Ow! As for those pedestrians or prey who don't have this craving, nor do they want to, they panicked and ran for their lives. They ran to their government safety zone and eventually they built a wall to defend themselves around the city of Busan. The citizens are mostly safe behind the walls, but now they have an even worse problem than the 30 million zombies and mutants that bang on the walls 24/7. What is it? Well, it's definitely not the desperate and self-serving citizens that hide and cower with them. Nor is it the corrupt government that treats its citizens like they're a bunch of rats. No, the real problem here are these ridiculous housing prices. Since there's no room for millions of surviving citizens to stay, the demand for even the average home has, skyrocketed from $500,000 to, $120 million with an M. Oh, and don't worry if you can't afford a house to cry yourself in during these troubling times. Why not cry in a shitty apartment room previously priced for $700 a month before the apocalypse, and now only for the low price of $13,000 every single month? We now turn to Cheolsu Kim, the main character and one of the many homeless survivors in Busan. You ever seen a homeless person before? He's racked up a healthy sum of money after working nearly every day since he's lived in Busan, but I don't mean to bore you with more numbers. But after working over 20 hours a day, doing odd jobs, he roughly earns about $7 an hour. It's what everyone's paying low-wage construction workers nowadays. And unfortunately, it's all he can do to afford something so lavish. Hey, if it was good for the economy before investments skyrocketed, it must be good in the apocalypse too. It's not like you can live anywhere else. Your neighbors are too hungry for that. The problem here is that Cheolsu has a big dream with a very steep price sticker on it. And as long as he doesn't use his $7 an hour frivolously, like getting properly nourished and sleeping for over 2.5 hours, he can keep working towards his dream of a $39 million home with a garden in, drumroll please, 731 years.
Hooray!
Hooray! He'll be dead before that happens. Cheolsu knows this, but no matter how hard he works, he'll never afford his childhood dream. So, he takes a gamble on his skills enlisting as a citizen soldier to retake a steel plant. Apparently, according to the government announcer, if you bring back evidence that you've killed zombies, you'll get 5,000 a head. That's worth 1 month of Cheolsu's salary for every single head he brings back. The opportunity of your lifetime awaits outside the wall, chants the announcer. So, after spending his emergency savings of $1,200 for his train ticket to the battlefield, signing his safety waiver, and stealing a few shovels from his construction site, Cheolsu goes all in, risking everything. He convinces himself, today, I will either end up as a zombie or a homeowner who can do whatever the hell he wants in his own home. Either way, I'm going to settle this once and for all. This train ticket may bring Cheolsu to greater riches and a new home, or it may turn him into just another flesh eater amongst the rest. As the train starts picking up passengers, there are so many here, and I guess desperate times means desperate measures, Cheolsu bumps into one of the many passengers that came to kill zombies. A masked female hunter walks into Chielzu the truck and falls to the ground in surprise. Oof! The hunter quivers as her quiver of crossbow bolts loudly falls to the ground. From the crowd of desperate zombie-fighting idiots, one of them rushes to snatch up the female hunter's crossbow bolts. Sweet! Crossbow bolts! Oh, wait! Those are mine! Well, not anymore. Anything on the ground is finders keepers, and I really could use more weapons, since we'll be hunting zombies in a few moments. Don't you people have decency anymore? Stammered the female hunter. How am I supposed to kill zombies now? A bigger stranger, too, comes up from behind the female hunter, grabs her by the hair. Yoink! Kill zombies? You? What a joke. You can't even keep your crossbow from being stolen. Just hand it over and go home. Actually, wait. You can be our bait. No! Let me go! The female hunter cries as she gets dragged by her hair onto the train. Suddenly, Chielzu grabs the second stranger's arm. Stranger 2 believes that Chielzu is the chivalrous knight in shining armor, like all good cliched protagonists are. The intimidated Stranger 2 demands Chielzu to let go of his arm. Chielzu obliges. He lets go of this man's arm. Then Stranger 2 smirks, and then immediately gets slapped for his hubris by Chielzu's meaty hand into next week. I can't focus on zombies with people like you in the mix, replies Chielzu. They're going after other people instead of the zombies. The female hunter, astonished, says, Thank you. Don't thank me. I thought it'd be nice to have a ranged weapon. I could never afford one. I guess today's my lucky day. Huh? Questions the female hunter. Chielzu ignores the female hunter's expressions, and then he looks at the other strangers who picked up the female hunter's crossbow bolts. He then removes them from the list of jerks arriving to hunt zombies through brute force. Crossbow and free ammunition has been acquired. This must be his lucky day. And as for the female hunter, she's been tricked, backstabbed, and quite possibly bamboozled in less than 5 minutes of arriving to the train station.
Hey!
And what were the soldiers doing all this time? Well, they were over sitting in a corner eating popcorn, because none of these people are even going to make it once they get to the actual station. Those poor souls, said one soldier quietly. They won't know what hit them, says the other. The train reaches to a halt at the steel plant. Leaving the military safety of Busan, the train arrives at the Pohang station. With over 1,000 passengers in the dark, they start walking off the boxcars of the train, expecting someone to greet them. But then they all realize the dark, terrible truth. Nobody wants to escort nobodies to their destination of death, not even soldiers. Instead, they'll do something even worse. They want to make sure none of the boxcar stowaways make it back alive. The over 1,000 idiots that signed death waivers and their life savings were expecting to go on a trip of a lifetime to support their families, eliminate a few zombies, possibly get some riches untold for a few zombies, and now they're realizing instead they're here to support the ever-dwindling ration crisis. How do you make rations off of your last remaining rations? You give it to less people. And now that less people exist, there's more rations to go around. So how do you get rid of the stowaways? Well, you put them right in front of a loudspeaker that will attract thousands of unwanted zombies into one spot, the Chowdown Central of Pohang Station. The stowaways hear a sound of a microphone being tapped. Testing, testing. May I have your attention? For all of you participating in the 17th National Counteroffensive Movement, thank you all for coming all the way out here. As you might already know, the population density in Busan is at critical levels, so we decided to call the population to achieve desirable levels of land area per capita. Therefore, the speakers release a loud booming sound to attract the zombies far and wide. Busan and the national government, never forget your sacrifice. After ringing the dinner bell, hordes of zombies just appear out of nowhere. Meanwhile, the boxcars get electronically decoupled from the train engine, and the train engine speeds off with the soldier in charge. Instantly, people start trying to hide in the remaining boxcars after the train conductor leaves. And she also sees the impending threat and watches as the passengers keep getting eaten. He looks at his crossbow. The Chielzu looks at this very crossbow from some idiots and thought he would need it, but after watching thousands of flesh eaters devour a man alive, he gives it back to the female hunter, who is overjoyed that she gets it back to survive until Chielzu says, "This is my crossbow. I will rent it to you. It will cost you 10 zombies." "What?" asks the female hunter. Are you going to actually fight them? Don't tell me you're going to jump into that hell." "I need 7,900. Huh?" Chielzu lifts one of the 3 shovels like a broadsword from his rucksack as he hops out of the boxcar and says, "That's the number of zombies I need to kill tonight." Whack swings the shovel, an industry-grade product made to dig graves, now digging into a zombie's neck like a sword, slicing it clean. With that, Chielzu has just ended his first zombie while watching the horrifying sight in front of him. Tens of hundreds of bloody zombies jumping from on top of the station rooftop and descending like angels of poison onto his sculpted body. Wearing only a tank top and some work jeans, which is the worst armor you can bring to be bit from anywhere on your body, and a shovel he brandishes like a sword, he gathers his strength and slashes through the next zombie with a whirlwind of power, and the next, and the next. With every swing, Chielzu slashes 1 to 3 zombie heads with all of his might. Zombies try to run, jump, climb, and crawl their way to fresh Chielzu meat, only to get eliminated by a mere shovel. When Chielzu can't get ahead, he slashes through an entire body. He aims for arms and torsos when he can't get heads, and he gets smacked into a boxcar by a headless body? Chielzu was unstoppable until one headless body rushes into him and slams him unconscious into the boxcar behind him. Although he's unconscious, Chielzu instinctively picks up his shovel and he pushes the vanguard zombies with a roundhouse kick. Without being bitten, Chielzu screams in berserker rage as he splits heads, bodies, necks, jaws, and every body part that gets too close to him. Throughout the night screaming, attracting more zombies, but still conquering all the odds of survival. He will get his house in this cutthroat economy, whether he's dead or alive. Slash, slash, slash. Bloody running corpses getting bloodier by the second. The female hunter watches in astonishment until morning. A monster more terrifying than the horde of monsters that was in front of them. By dawn, all that remained of the 1,000 passengers was a female hunter and a homeless badass sitting atop a throne of over 8,000 corpses, disheveled hair covered in blood catching his breath. "Are you all right?" asks the female hunter. Chielzu replies slowly, "Shut up and start counting the zombies. It's time to cash in." The female hunter looks at the carnage around her, and she asks why this man was so desperate that he had to earn money like this. "Aren't you afraid of dying?" Chielzu answers, "I'm buying a house, preferably one with a garden," as he destroys another zombie on the pile. "But how are they going to collect all the zombies in the pile? They're too heavy to carry, and there's too many heads here to even carry that much." Well, later that morning, Chielzu walks out with 2 duffel bags of noses, because apparently 8,000 zombie heads is heavier than you think. So, to lighten the load, Chielzu cut off every single nose of each zombie that he killed with his shovel. Now, Chielzu can carry 2 duffel bags of zombie noses to the gate entrance of Busan for the same amount as 8,000 zombies. Wow! Unethical, but much lighter and much more portable. Chielzu and the female hunter get their zombie noses appraised, earning a total of $40.1 million in hush money, as long as they stay quiet about what really happened on their trip outside the walls. Chielzu knows he isn't going to blab. He got what he wanted, and the 2 signed the NDA for the money. The appraising manager gets whispered into his ear by one of his executives. "Sir, that's a lot of money. Do we really have to give it to him?" The appraising manager whispers back, "That maniac cut the noses off of all the zombies and brought them over here so we wouldn't cheat him out of it. If we don't pay him, he might cut our noses off too." The manager sighs and says, "Give him the money for now. We'll take it back later. After all, it's the public servant's duty not to waste taxes. Chilzu and the female hunter walk out with their hard-earned cash that they risk their lives for. The female hunter asks Chilzu, well, what's next? And instantly, Chilzu takes a stack of abandoned bills from the briefcase and says, that's $30,000 after the rental fee for using my crossbow. Now stop following me. As Chilzu walks back into society, the female hunter says, you're going to buy a house, right? Invite me over when you find a place. I'll bring housewarming gifts. Lady, if you already own a piece of property, why are you fighting zombies? On another note, Chilzu approaches an old man's house with the dough to pay for it, signing a contract and paying this man upfront for the house with 0.0 interest. Wow, a bonus to your childhood dream. Paying off your house day one. The old man smiles as all the paperwork has been signed and says, it's your home now, kid. Chilzu tries to hide his joy as he walks. No, struts into his house with his shoes, and then as customary to the Asian culture, he removes his shoes and steps his first feet into the house. The end. Well, the end would be the best part, except the first 3 footsteps included a dirty nail protruding from the floorboards. What's worse than tetanus from a rusty nail? How about a zombie virus and tetanus from a rusty nail? Oh yeah, and a SWAT team huddling up surrounding your house, hut, to exterminate the infected zombie inside the building. Chilzu realizes he's been had by the appraiser, the previous homeowner, and even his own government, as the virus starts coursing through his veins and his life flashes before his eyes. What does he see? A brother, an older brother about 10 years older than himself, tells a young Chilzu, a house with a garden. We'll put our names on the front door, he says cheerfully. That way, Mom and Dad will be able to find us easier. Chilzu realizes that the dream that he has been working for was actually his brother's. Chilzu's childhood dream and legacy have just been ruined by a corrupt system as he starts exiting the successfully trapped house in blind rage. Amongst the crowd of soldiers, the appraiser walks out of his car with a megaphone, broadcasts his voice, asking, hello, can you hear me? Addressing the survivor of the 17th National Counteroffensive Operation, or should I say the now infected Mr. Chilzu Kim. Sir, I'm not sure if we should aggravate him. What if he does go on a rampage? Asks the appraiser's executive. And do we really have to do this on his moving date? It feels very inhumane. The appraiser snaps at his executive. Look, once word gets round that someone survived the National Counteroffensive Operation, the slashers will make a move to recruit him. And besides, who cares about his little rampage? Well, you're the boss. The appraiser happily uses his legal jargon to piss off Chilzu even more. In accordance with the Zombie Prevention Act, paragraph 3 of Article 1, Mr. Chilzu Kim will be terminated due to infection. Furthermore, on paragraph 7 of Article 3, all of his assets will be confiscated. I mean, I get it. Why would a zombie have assets in society? But shouldn't there be something saying that giving the virus is a bioweapon or a biohazard and charge the person that's responsible for that as well? Or am I thinking too much on this? He fails to find the words to his constant hatred of his problems. First, the zombies, then poverty, now even the government. All I ever was a... The appraiser greedily smiles at the filthy thing being turned into a zombie and asks politely from his megaphone and his surrounding military soldiers, having trouble with your words, Mr. Zombie? All I ever wanted was a house. Why does the whole world have a problem with that? I just wanted a home to wait for my family in. What the hell is your problem with that? As he flies into the crowd of trembling soldiers in a flying fit of rage, we stay tuned, everyone.